welcome back to Our Life Beginnings and Always. We are here with Cove as he is reminiscing memories. His eyes crinkled fondly and Cove's voice was gentle when he spoke again. We had a good childhood, I think. I think so too. We're really lucky. I'll always remember our days here. Wow, you're sounding so old now. I'll always remember our days here. I think they're really lucky to have this kind of like life. Really lucky.
Yeah.
You're right. He shook his head, sighing heavily. Alright. His smile took on an uncharacteristically harsh twist. You had a feeling where this was going. We better get home before your dumb parents who don't know anything get mad. Are you being Jeremy? We had to laugh at the half-hearted impression of young Jeremy, the boy you met in this very park. He chuckled along with you for a moment before tapering off. I hope we don't get grounded. The jokes kept coming. It was very amusing to imagine that not only could your mom somehow ground you as a fully grown independent adult, but that their powers extended over Cove as well. As much as you're enjoying being back here, Cove was right. You had to accept that you needed to go now. It was late and your moms were still expecting to see you before you got a ride back to the hotel. Cove hopped down from the bars, landing easily on the ground only a short distance below. Before you could return, you had some clothes to retrieve from the beach. You retrod the same path, following the footprints down to the shore you'd left in the sand only a little while earlier. Once Cove had scrounged up his abandoned clothes, you started to walk up the old path home side by side. Droplets of water slipped down your skin and fell onto the road as you made your way back to your mom's house. As you and Cove were still soaked and sandy from your earlier adventure, it was likely that you were leaving quite a trail in your wake. But you'd seen Cove's bedroom growing. It was only natural for him. The air was slightly humid, already pleasantly dense with the moisture that felt like a hug as it closed around you. Any damp footsteps that were left behind would take longer to dry in this weather. The signs of your adventure might even be visible when the sun came up the next day. You hope so. You quite like the idea of you and Cove leaving your mark on your hometown again, if only for a little while. Don't like it? Despite being out late and in Cove's case, mostly undressed, the balmy summer night prevented you from feeling any chill. You were entirely comfortable. In truth, you felt warm inside and out. The day had been so lovely, spending time with friends and family, and your eyes drifted over to Cove. Cove Holt and your boyfriend, just seeing him brought a smile to your face. I love you. I always wanted to be with you. Cove, you make me so happy. You're truly my other half. You said nothing, simply enjoying his presence. Let's see. I love you. Cove, you make me so happy. You're truly my other half. Sorry if there's like jump cuts. Tyler just came home, so he was talking to me. You're truly my other half. Cove turned to you, his eyes wide and adoring, and he bit his lip as he smiled shyly. You could tell that your words had touched him. I feel the same way. Exactly. He held your gaze a moment longer, looking straight at you as he spoke again.
I love you.
I'll love you forever. Enveloping a hug, you playfully bumped him against him as you kissed him. You reached for his hand. You're not pleased with how tonight played. Envelop him in a hug. Cove squeaked, startled by the sudden embrace, but quickly warmed to it and responded by wrapping his arm around you in return. You were full of joy. All other concerns and the day-to-day stresses of normal life were squeezed out by it. All you could think in that moment was how your life was wonderful. Every second and every day needed to end sometime, and that time had nearly come for tonight. You had to get at least some rest and bring it all to a close. And so the two of you went inside to say goodnight to your moms, as well as clean yourselves up as best as you could. Your moms, both in pajamas, ready for their own sleep, hooted with laughter as you came inside. This heaved and damp, and their teasing continued until the car came to get you to the hotel. Cove stayed silent as he put his casual clothes on again, placing the former ones back in the bag he brought them in. You'd given Mom and Ma plenty of material for a mock scolding, and you got a playful lecture about not getting into the water without bothering to change first. You just grinned at your partner and crying, feeling like a naughty kid again. It had been worth it. By the time you and Cove finally dragged yourselves to your hotel room for the night, the sky had been dark for some time, and the lonely hotel hallways were quiet. The late hour made you feel a sense of fulfillment. You really were making the most of your trip. It was such an odd thought that this was almost over. You had settled into the new routine naturally. All the familiar streets and faces made everything easy to get used to. The two of you drowsily shuffled past an ice machine and into your room. Cove set his phone on his bedside table, and you followed suit. You both started settling in for the night. The hotel room was a welcome sight after your long day. You noticed Cove rode the back of his neck and yawned. His voice was quiet and distant. I hope the pet sitter is doing good. The wish wasn't exactly directed to you. It was just a sleepy thought that Cove had unleashed upon the world at large. But he still agreed. I hope so. That sitter is watching some of the best animals on the planet. Cove still kept fish after all these years. Delightful, colorful things in huge aquariums. He spent a lot of time when he wanted to relax just watching them swim. You also adopted a pet who you loved dearly. Your home was a lovely place full of critters that both of you cared for. That was why, with both of you gone, it had been important to find a decent pet sitter. Cove's anxiety about leaving them hadn't subsided. Over the vacation, you had caught him a few times texting the pet sitter and asking about his fish. You were even more tense than Cove. I'm also a little worried. It'll be okay. Cove turned his head to you, the nervousness still coming off despite his exhaustion. Remember, you gave that pet sitter such an in-depth fish orientation that that they knew all their names. And most of the fish are practically identical. Cove left instantly lighter. You nodded in satisfaction. Mission accomplished. Cove yawned widely. He seemed confused at the magnitude of it. He groggily blinked at you. I think it's time for bed. That is a great thought. You yawned and then raised an eyebrow at Cove for making you catch his. He gave a little smile, but then ended up yawning again. I think so too. The two of you got changed and brushed your teeth. In no time at all, both of you were cozy and ready to sleep. After that, you flopped onto your side of the shared bed. Cove headed over to his side and you felt the mattress dip under his wing. You tucked yourself under the covers and Cove snuggled in closer to the middle. You turned on your side to face him and scooted slightly closer. Your noses almost touched. And Cove watched you with a soft expression on his face. Cove gently spoke, his words like a lullaby. You have a good night too. Cove's eyes fluttered shut and he let out a contented sigh. There was a warmth from Cove's body next to you. He was right there. His presence was comforting, perfect for lulling you to sleep. His presence was alluring. You really wanted your hands on it? What the fuck? Like, I'm gonna just grab your face, bro. Let's put our hand on him. Your hand drifted over to Cove's and you ran your fingers up his arms, across his shoulder, and finally to his face. Cove trembled at the gesture. You cradled his cheek and his eyes opened slightly to peek at you, unsure. Are you tired? What kind of question is that? We're both tired. As nice as it was to be near him, you understood he might not be in the mood. You wouldn't mind if you both just went to sleep instead. Cove mumbled into the phone. Hi. What? Yeah. Aria. Look who came. Aria. Alright. As nice as it was to be near him, you understood he might not be in the mood. You wouldn't mind if you both just went to sleep instead. Cove mumbled into the hotel blanket. I mean... Oh! He's not sleepy anymore. Your eyebrows lifted. He flushed as a growing excitement replaced any previously held plans to rest. You leaned forward and lightly kissed his lips. He pecked you back affectionately. You could feel his smile and his affection. He rolled slightly so that he was fully on his side and had a better range of motion. With the new freedom of his arm, he reached over to stroke the back of your head. When the first kiss ended, you immediately started another and then another. Cove stopped running his fingers down your hair to hold your head closer. The second option. You grabbed his butt. You nibbled on his ear. You pressed your foreheads together affectionately. You kissed down into his neck. You hooked your legs around him. You grabbed onto his shirt. You kissed him deeply. I have R's for all over my face. This one seems tempting. I'm doing this one. You kiss down his neck. Just look at his cute. Look at his fucking face. It's so cute. You bent over Cove, the covers wrapping around you, and kissed all the way across the side of his neck. Cove squirmed under your touch and made a new pleased noise with every touch. Oh, you can keep going? Oh, shit. Grab onto his shirt. You tugged and pulled at Cove's soft pajamas and stretched under your fingers. Cove started to run a hand through your hair again, sweetly carding through the strands. It was a never-ending reassurance that he was here and he cared about you. Kissing? You snaked your arms around Cove and pulled him as close to you as you could. You savored the heat of his body against you. You pressed into Cove as long as you could manage before needing air. He responded just as desperately. Let's just do all of it. Just do everything. You tangled your legs across Cove. You need to get even closer. You twisted his arms around your back and kissed the corner of your mouth. The grabbing the butt thing is... I feel like you'll be like, whoa! You slid your hand down his back, lingering and caressing as you please. However, your touch had a purpose, and you kept going until you grabbed his butt. Whichever went through him, he gripped your pajamas harder. You smiled at the curve of his lips. Oh, he didn't freak out. Nibbled his ear? Was that option before? I didn't see that. You pressed your chest against his and toyed with his earlobe, peppering with soft little bites. Code spoke breathily, inaudible words against the crook of your neck. Alright, forehead. Ended off with forehead affection. Cove happily looked back at you before he bent his torso so that he was in position more over you. He kissed you and ran his tongue along the bottom of your lip. You kissed him back eagerly, encouraged further. Cove twisted his head towards his pillow and squished his face into it, letting out a sigh. You smiled and you snuggled. I was gonna say smuggled. You snuggled up against him, both of you starting to settle from the heated moment. Cove's face remained pressed to the pillow, and you watched his chest rise and fall visibly with his deep inhales, but his arms stayed around you, holding you close. When his breathing slowly shifted back over and met your eyes, Cove nuzzled his cheek against you lovingly and whispered, "We really shouldn't stay up all night, huh?" You accepted Cove's judgment. He was right. You both need to sleep for tomorrow. You curled up comfortably in each other's arms, ready to actually settle down for the night. Your eyes fell closed sometime after. You were not sure exactly when, only the fact that you were now too heavy to open. You felt a mixture of bitter and sweet emotions. You were happy to be here, but sad it was ending. There was relief that you would soon be in your own home again, but also wondering when you could return here. There were many more feelings swirling around in your head that hadn't even crystallized into thoughts yet. Paradoxically, you felt nice but also confused, but then also nice from the confusion. In the back of your mind, you realized that you really must be tired. And surprisingly, your exhaustion did not give you too much time to muse on your emotions, and in what felt like seconds, you were already dreaming. The dreams dancing around your head became fragmented and faded until you couldn't remember a thing about them at all. You were growing more aware of the real world. You woke up on your own, the alarm woke you up, Cove was gently waking you. I feel like I would wake up on my own. You opened your eyes with a smile, gradually struggled with your eyes, half of me pout and squeeze your eyes shut. Me, pouting! I always whine when I'm being woken up. The world started to darken as sleep pulled you back under again. Cove could be the responsible one. You decided you weren't ready for the morning yet. I mean, if we're on vacation, depending on what we're doing on vacation, I would already be awake, but ideally, it would be nice to just sleep in once in a while. You sat up fully with a big yawn, stretching your back, then your arms, and lastly your neck before accepting the day. The blanket fell to the side while you swung your legs over the side of the bed. A part of it almost got caught on your foot, but you kicked it anyway. Cove slipped out of bed on the opposite side. Today would be your last day in Sunset Bird. The only thing you had planned was some family time in the old neighborhood. You figured to see where the day took you from there. This is where we are going to stop. I feel like we're nearing the ending, possibly, but we haven't been proposed to yet, or had the wedding yet. Unless the wedding is like a separate thing, and we won't get to it. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.